ladies and gentlemen, to 2019 WCG's Xi'an Hearthstone event. We're up to day number 2, and we're going to be following some fluourine around as he takes on a couple of different opponents here today. And interestingly, we've had a few favorites sort of stumbling here and there, but also some people rising to the top. And yesterday, we saw LFReconnect able to actually take a 2-1 victory over his Chinese counterpart, and has since lost a couple and won a couple, despite having a bit of shaky play in that first game.
Yeah, I think you could ask a lot of questions about LFReconnect's play yesterday, but it looks like he managed to keep calm, keep composed in the game's off stream, and we'll get another chance to see him play today.
Yep, and also his Dr. Boom rolls were extraordinarily good when we saw him play.
Those.
Yeah, so obviously a great player, just unfortunately made a few misplays, and his ordering in a few of those games was certainly questionable. However, I mean, Terrence certainly coming out on top. We're not going to be seeing him on the main stage here today so far. Of course, welcome to the main stage, guys, here. If you've been just watching the Hearthstone, we are finally on the big stage. Feeling fantastic about that as well. Where we belong, Navi.
Yeah,
that's how it is. Of course, I'm Atlas. This is Navi. We're both Australian. However, we're trying our best not to be biased, especially seeing as our Australian representative Arkamaker has not been doing so well. So we've turfed that one out. Can we put on some accents, maybe? Like, I think that we need to switch countries. How's your American accent? We are Terrence fans now?
I try and practice my American accent a bit on stream, but it leaves a lot to be desired, so I'm not going to try right now.
I've heard that one. If you guys have been watching our Navi stream, you know that you don't want the American accent. So we're absolutely fine there. So it is going to be LFReconnect taking on fluourine first. I actually had the pleasure of casting fluourine when he was qualifying in the APAC qualifier. He was at that point playing the Hunter. He was playing the mid-range Beast Hunter. He was getting all that Master's Call value, and he actually just straight up smashed his way towards the top. Like, that deck is already super consistent, but the way he was playing it was masterful. That guy was a Beast Hunter master.
Yeah, I mean, the deck, pretty straightforward with the macro and in a lot of its matchups, but, you know, a few small things here and there. You can see some matchups that are normally favored, like Warrior, for example, really go astray. So, and just looking at the opponents he played against in that APAC qualifier, he took down some really impressive names, some household names, you could say, like Sequinox, Coco Sasa, and even Chonsao, who obviously is competing in Grandmasters. Yeah,
and he didn't exactly have the tournament of his life, that particular tournament. However, certainly, as far as name value, got through some really tough ones. That's a shout-out to Arkamaker as well, who was also able to qualify from the same tournament. But fluourine now has actually switched over. He's going to be playing the Mage, much like Arkamaker was in that particular series. And now switching to the Mage from the Hunter. I mean, as far as playstyle is concerned, it's a very different way of playing Hearthstone. And I think the Mage is one of the most practice-intensive decks in the meta right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really common theme you'll see. If someone really respects himself as a player, they're going to opt for the Mage. It's a very, very difficult deck to play. So to see him back himself in and bring the Mage,
it's a tough one, and we'll see whether he can transition, guys. We're going to check out the overview here. Of course, we are playing Hearthstone. It's specialist format, much like Grandmasters, as you've been watching. Every game is going to be BO3, even the final. And a win equals 3 points in a single round robin, and the top 4 will be heading forward. And then knockout stage, of course, single elimination BO3. Winner taking home $25,000 US of our 50K prize pool. That is a large amount of money for our victor. And by 50K, I mean 40K. My mathematics is not super great, as adding up 25, 10, and 5 should be something I learned quite early on in primary school. But you don't need to count. We're playing Hearthstone.
Yeah, maybe just stay away from the page.
I miss a few lethals, let's just say that. As we are going to be introducing our 2 players, fluourine coming over from Hong Kong against LFReconnect of China. Switching flags here, as it's going to be a bit of time before those flags are actually going to be the same one.
Yep, 20-odd years. 2049, I think it is.
2049. We were having a discussion about this yesterday, so we were well equipped to go into this one.
Yeah.
Talking about Hong Kong versus China. But right now, we're separated, and right now, it is a battle to stay in this tournament. We're going to be checking out the standings, I believe. I don't know whether we are going to get those up onto your screen. I don't know how many of the games have been played since our particular standings that we've received has been updated, but I can give you guys a look at the standings going into today. A little bit of a reminder as to where everyone is. At the moment, we're sort of middle of the pack as far as fluourine versus LFReconnect is concerned. fluourine currently 5th, tied with Reconnect for that one. So we're breaking the tie, trying to get towards that top 4.
Yep, pretty important game for these players.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have Exigo actually currently in the lead. 4-1 for him coming over from Hungary, 12 points already on the board, but we're only halfway through, right? And he is 4-1, still got a few games to play as we move into this one. And Terrence is right behind him, 3-2, coming from the USA. And Techno Goose, who we're going to be seeing after this, also versus Fluourine, is in that 3rd place, well, tied for Terrence, but theoretically in that 3rd place. And as before, as we saw, lose to Reconnect yesterday, is tied for that 2nd place as well. So three-way tie for 2nd at 3-2. We're actually at 3 wins apiece, but 3-1 for as before is a game behind.
Yeah. As before, could a bit of luck his way. Easily could have found himself at the top of the table. So
yeah, exactly right. I think his rogue deck is working quite well for him, and he was playing it well. But unfortunately, some of the draws from reconnecting that matchup were just a little bit too good.
Insane.
One could say.
Insane.
Sometimes the heart of the cards needs to come out, though. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
you have to commend a player for being better at RNG.
Yeah, people say it a lot, but you know that is Hearthstone, unfortunately. So.
Yep. But, I mean, we still see the same players being at the top of the game every time. So
yeah, exactly.
You can't say that it's not a game of skill.
As long as you can put in a decent enough sample size, absolutely. Agree with you 100%, Max.
Yeah. So you're saying that it's still a grind, and you got to wait for those law of averages to come out in your favor. Is that what you're saying?
Just as you make sure when you hit your upswing, you're playing as best as you can, your mental is as best as it can be, and you can only give yourself the best chance.
All right. Well, I mean, I got to wait until my mental actually stabilizes.
I think
I've been waiting like 31 years, but I'm sure I'm due,
It's just around the corner, yeah.
I'm due for
32.
it. Yeah. It's like that person that thinks that they're really, really unlucky, that are just waiting for that time where their luck turns around. And they're going to buy that lottery ticket, and then everything's totally fine. But here we go, into game number 1, Reconnect versus Fluourine, the Mage versus Warrior matchup. And we haven't actually cast this matchup just yet.
Yep.
What are the nuances? What are we looking out for here?
Yeah, played it a lot from the Warrior side. The Warrior is just looking to really put the beat down on the Mage. So curve out, put bombs in the deck, boom on 7, like the Blastmaster boom variety in this case. Just the extra pressure is really, really important. And Brawl, a key card in this matchup as well. LFReconnect only running 1. He boards into the 2nd Brawler, so that's fine. But game 1, I would like to favor the Mage. Just the Warrior isn't necessarily equipped to deal with some of the threats that can come down early, but games 2 and 3, it is much closer.
Well, we're seeing we've got a little bit of a problem here, of course. It wasn't exactly the same opening hands from both players because, of course, one of them is a Mage. As we can finally see, the Mage's hand does have Conjurer's Calling in hand. Sea Giant there as well. Sea Giant value not exactly super high, especially not against a Warrior. So we'll see whether he can get those mirror images down and get that one out early. We'll probably be trying to buff up that hand size more than anything else, and we'll see whether he gets those draw options as we move on. Khadgar is actually a big one.
Yeah, Fluourine
with that
also
Sea Giant in hand, yeah.
With the option to tempo out the Apprentice here. A play that I do like to see a lot, especially into turn 1 Rover, because it obviously can test the Rover really well, and the Warrior doesn't have a great way to deal 1 damage to the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
And looking over the Warrior's side, are we coin Clockwork Goblin into Snip Snapping here?
Coin Clockwork Goblin into Snip Snap is definitely the line I would like to see from Reconnect.
Damn, this guy is really good at opening hands.
Yeah, he sure is.
I'm starting to think that opening hands are also the sign of a good player.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Mulligan phase is one of the ways you can have the biggest edge in most matchups.
I'll be just like you.
All right, well, Sorcerer's Apprentice is just going to be coming down. Not going to be putting any mirror images after that because, of course, you want to be running that alongside Khadgar.
Yeah, it makes his turn a lot more open for Reconnect now. He has the option to Shield Slam it or just coin out one of his 3 drops.
You have to coin Shields. Coin Hero Power Shield Slam. Feels awful.
Yeah, Shield Slam, one of the ways you can deal with Giant on 4, like most efficiently in this matchup, but if you do have the armor total to do that, it means you haven't been developing threats, so it's not really an optimal play, and he does use the Shield Slam here. I don't mind this.
Feels like he was almost priced into doing it, right? Because the trade on Clockwork Goblin is a little bit too good.
Yep.
And Snip Snap just getting traded away as well, despite and adding also an ability for the Mage to get extra value.
Yeah, leaving the Apprentice up, super scary.
Yeah, Archmage Antonidas is in the hand of Fluourine now. Not a heck of a lot he can do right here. I mean, Khadgar Mirror Image is there, but I mean, what are you doing it against? Is one of those questions. And Warpath is, of course, a spell.
Yeah, not quite available to reconnect next turn for the full clear, but yeah, turn 4 does represent a clear.
Yeah.
Fluourine most likely just going to ping and pass it back to reconnect here.
You'd assume so. I guess he's just considering his options. Fluourine actually was playing very slow.
Yeah.
Very calculated in the APAC qualifier. Just wanting to make sure that he's making the right choice. And I respect this a lot. I felt like, especially in our Reconnect versus As before matchup, those guys were playing fast and loose Hearthstone,
Yeah,
man.
it was like Nasdorma was on the board or something.
Yeah, they were like
just
trying to get into their next match so that they could just keep building them ladder points, man. They're right at the start of the season, you know,
Yep.
trying to get ahead of the
racing to
curve.
legend.
Yeah, dude. It's not how it is here. We're at WCG, and you can take your time. You can follow this rope and get that rope all the way. Oh, wow, he's doing it. Okay, so understands that he's got an extra turn grace period before that double warpath is going to be available, and decides that he wants to do it. So keeping that pressure on.
Yeah, and if Reconnect does develop a minion here, which is most likely going to happen, it does open up the possibility for him to follow with Xi'an. So quite a heads-up play from Fluourine here.
Yep, and if he draws another... actually, no. If he draws another one, then he fills his entire board and then can't play anything else. So never mind. Just thinking about Conjurer's Calling availability alongside the Sea Giant, but not going to be happening here as Clockwork Goblin is being hovered. He's got a couple in hand.
Yep.
And he's going to throw that one out.
Yeah, I think the real thing that gave Fluourine the green light to make this play is he saw that early shield slime, so he knows that this Sea Giant is almost guaranteed to stick, and now he has the Conjurer's follow-up, which is quite insane.
And then Luna's Pocket Galaxy off the top as well.
Yeah, Galaxy
perfectly
on 5.
curving into 5. Yeah, nice work.
Very happy to see that.
Oh, speaking of happy to see things, that Warpath that we were talking about is going to enter the hand. And do we play it right here? I mean, you can get 5 damage onto that Sea Giant alongside it with your Clockwork Goblin, but still staring down the barrel of the Conjurer's Calling, which is actually probably what is in the mind of Reconnect over anything else.
Yeah, I really would not like to see the Warpath here. Leaving the mirror images up, not only does it deny Conjurer value, but it also dilutes Fluorine's board state so that it makes Brawl a little bit more effective. Obviously, with the Brawl, you're really hoping one of the big threats doesn't live, so leaving the 4 mirror images up kind of makes it more likely that one of those will live.
Yeah, so likely that we don't see this Clockwork Goblin actually head into one of these mirror images, as, like you say, denying that value is certainly going to be a big deal.
Yeah, it's a bit of a tell that he's holding Brawl if he chooses not to attack, so it depends how much he values that information.
All right, well, Omega Devastator in hand. Throw that one down as a Yeti if he wants to.
Definitely gets played as a Yeti a lot in this matchup.
And also gets played as Yeti a lot by Reconnect.
Yep.
I mean, I think he played it with its Battlecry once in that entire series against As before.
Correct, you are.
May as well just put a Yeti in his deck. What are we doing? I guess it has Rush. Not bad.
So
we're going to just press the button and pass it on.
Opting to not attack like you were talking about.
Smash that armor up button.
Yeah, and the alarm bell for Brawl must be going off in Fluorine's head right now, so he might choose to just Lunas here, but I feel like that's a little bit too greedy, and you've got to take this Conjurers while you have it.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
He's against that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's going to throw everything to
if
face.
you couldn't deal with the Sea Giant last turn, you make him deal with it this turn, and Reconnect can't get 8 armor up, so saving the Conjurers doesn't seem too bad.
Yep, I like it. And I think you just straight Brawl here, right?
You really, really don't want to, but you're going to take another 8 damage if you don't, so
10 damage, right?
He's kind of forced to.
Yeah, going down to 12 health against a mage. Feels real bad, and also not dealing with the board when there is, of course, the Conjurer's Calling laying in wait. Still only 3 cards in the hand here of Fluourine, so he's running out of gas and doesn't have any way to build anything back up unless Mana Cyclone does come in, unless that Arcane Intellect is going to be available.
Yep. Yeah, Arcane Intellect
that is the dream,
highest value draw right now for Fluourine. Yeah, it looks like LF is just going to be forced into using this Brawl here and just praying that this Sea Giant doesn't live.
But he's taking a lot more time. I think this has been a really great change-up from what we've seen from Reconnect. Fast and loose Hearthstone now into calculated as Clockwork Goblin comes down, and I think he's just going to smack that armor button.
Yeah.
And gets rid of one of these
so
mirror images.
Using his life total as a resource here, I guess. Choosing to take another 10 damage, and then maybe trying to clear the Sea Giant here with Warpath the following turn. Warpathing twice and then sending the Clockwork Goblins into the Sea Giant, and it shows how much he really values Brawl in this matchup, especially because he's only playing one in his main deck.
That's true. He's not Na'Vi. Doesn't have those double Brawls.
Yeah, I don't understand these crazy 1 Brawl players.
I know, it's just insanity. Well, Mountain Giant is now in there.
Yeah, Fluourine really happy to see that. He knows now that if the Sea Giant does get dealt with, he has the Mountain Giant follow-up.
Yep. And that means that you could probably hold on to Conjurer's Calling, but with the Twin Spell, like, do you just decide that maybe using it is going to be a good idea anyway? with the fact that now you've got a bit of extra board space.
Yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting to throw down, but I mean, fluourine has seen that Reconnect doesn't really have a way to deal with it right now. So if he's just fine pushing 10 each turn, and he could honestly keep the build like this. But
what's the value in threatening lethal here? As he throws down the Mountain Giant actually and decides to go with the Conjurers on that. That takes away a lot of your other follow-up options.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the read he has that if you had Brawl, you would have played it by now. But that read is going to turn out to be wrong.
But even so, right? There's just never that threat. Like
I really don't understand about the Mountain Giant play there. Yeah, he could have just conjured a Sea Giant and you effectively have the same result.
Yeah. Well, we are going to keep
super questionable.
Yeah, that is the dream brawl though. RNG still on the side of Reconnect, even as we move into day 2.
Brawl, one of the most polarizing cards right now.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you'd be kicking yourself as fluourine right now. I think that was just a straight misplay, right?
Yeah, I can't see a world where that you could even justify that. But the Sea Giant coming off the top, looks like fluourine might not be too punished for that.
Is there anything that can be a problem with, like, based on the fact that I believe Sea Giant 10 mana and 12 mana is your Mountain Giant, so therefore, as he did actually pick another one up, Conjurer's Calling is going to come in here, and there we go. That is a lot of stats on the board. Yeah, Dynamatic not going to help you here.
No, Dynamatic doing absolutely nothing.
I don't know why I needed to talk about Dynamatic, but I felt like it was optimal. As Omega Devastator, we were wishing that we were on 10 mana at this point for Reconnect.
Yeah, so this Shield Black Shield Slam looking quite juicy right now. Allows him to deal with the Mechathune, which is the main throw right now, representing 10 power. The 412, while it's a body, it's not a lot. You're taking 4 a turn as a warrior. It's not the worst in this matchup, so most likely see him just clear the Mechathune here and kind of ignore the 412 for a while.
All right, well, seeing what his decision is going to be. You can see in the hand of the mage, not a whole lot, but does represent 6 damage across a couple of turns in hand.
I really respect
8
the
damage
patience
with a couple
of
of pings.
I really respect the patience of Reconnect. Just the past like 2 or 3 turns, holding onto that brawl, trying to eke as much value out of it as he could, and it ended up being the right play with fluourine overextending.
Snap's going to come in here after that shield slam, and we'll be able to leave a couple of bodies on the board here as well.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about the snip snap play there. I mean, it could have. I guess he feels like his hand, he has enough resources that he wants to play in the following turns anyway, but the snip snap represents quite a lot of stats in the following turns.
Well, another Conjurer is actually picked up here.
Yeah, that is huge. The Conjurer here is gigantic.
All right, well, we'll see whether it does actually get played, because Mana Cyclone also picked up. So even if you use both of the twin spells, and you could even throw down the Elemental Evocation, despite the fact that our Mana Cyclone is only 1 health. Thanks to Luna's Pocket Galaxy anyway.
It can generate 4 random spells.
Another one?
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
Mechathune's really good here.
Damn right it is. Caligos also feels great when you got a few spells in your deck. And an Archmage Antonidas sitting there also.
I mean, it was a card we saw in the earlier iterations of Conjurer's Mage decks.
Yeah, exactly.
When they were a bit more threat dense, at least.
Of course, yeah, when you're playing the full minion-based ones, this was your way of getting some of those Book of Spectres. That was my favorite one, actually, when it first sort of came out.
Oh, you were just jamming stats.
Yeah, dude, I just don't have a brain, man. So I just get to throw down minions. It's like I see the number at the top. If it represents the same number as the blue things down the bottom, then I put it on the field. Beautiful.
Small things amuse small minds, Max.
Yeah, I know, right? I was so great at Hearthstone when you know the Warlock was real good. The good old Zoolock back in the day. Oh. If you can play it, play it.
Okay.
Beautiful.
The random spells Fluourine picked up. Fireball and Research Project, 2 really nice pickups. So
damn.
And with Reconnect sitting at 13, might be able to find a bit of reach with this Antonidas.
Even though I can't count, I can tell that we're representing lethal here on board for Fluourine.
Quite a lot of damage. Double Militia Commander coming down just to deal with this Mechathune. Doesn't feel that great, especially because you're leaving Caligos up, but doesn't really have any other options here.
Yeah, we have to. Otherwise, you're just dead. Mana Cyclone will probably bite the dust as well, unless we want to leave these 2 minions on the board. I mean, if Magnetize does come in, then you do have more of an option, but likely to not get that kind of value.
Fluourine with all the options in the world right now.
Like, how is he going to die?
Someone that's played quite slow this whole set. Kind of surprised to just see him jam the Antonidas here.
Aha! Well, Fireball going to be exchanged for another Fireball. And down to 3 health. Unless we can get something off the top. And I mean, I just don't know whether we can get enough armor back, whether we can get enough health back. And Reconnect is looking at not a whole lot of options for staying alive. And he's going to be going down to 3 health.
I think the writing on the wall is on the wall for Reconnect here. Arcane Missiles was the only lethal out of the first magic trick, so managed to dodge that at least.
And also, unfortunately, dodging the Mad Genius. And also, we can see that fluourine's dodged a lot of bombs. So if we had have seen just Dr. Boom coming in here, there would have been a lot of bombs added as far as that threat is concerned. And I think we're just going to see the concede, not going to be too many options. Unless Omega Assembly gives him something absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, if he had more mana, then the possibility of Omega Assembly into Ziliax plus Omega Devastator might have allowed him to stabilize. But with all the fireballs that Fluorine generated the previous turn, it was unlikely.
Yeah, exactly right. And with Caligos on board, I mean, he could have thrown all of them out. I mean, that's having to heal back at least 18 health worth of damage. That's real silly. Not that I did that math in my head, guys. I certainly wrote that one down first. I need to keep up appearances that I can't do any sort of addition work. But congratulations to Fluorine here. You can see on his face that he's not ready to celebrate just yet. Still needs to win this best of 3. Will require another win in a row.
Yeah, both players having sideboards available to them for the respective matchup. So we're going to see both players move to their secondary deck. And when this does happen, I still would like to give a slight edge to the Mage, but the Warrior definitely, if they can put on enough pressure and force the Mage to kind of throw down a threat, just to kind of hold off the pressure, like throw down an early Mountain Giant or throw down an early Sea Giant, and then if the Warrior does have the answer, the big game hunter, the Super Collider, it's very, very easy for the Warrior just to snowball that tempo into damage and then come up with a win.
Yeah, well, talking about what he actually has added here, it is going to be 1 big game hunter, an extra brawl, as well as 2 Super Colliders. Certainly a whole lot more as far as the ability to get rid of these big threats. So you can imagine that that Reconnect is feeling a lot better heading into this one, despite not having exactly the most fantastic mulligan. He does have the Warpath, has the Town Crier to keep getting more options available to him.
Yep, the Crier to Alec definitely.
Oh, there we go. I thought that his starting hand was looking a little bit dicey, but then don't worry.
Yeah, you feel a lot more comfortable with Mad Genius sitting in there.
Brilliant. But Twilight Drake is now here for Fluorine.
Yep, Fluorine going with Double Drake, Harrison Jones, Alex Straza, and 1 copy of Astromancer for his 5-card sideboard. The Drakes, the higher health total that they give you, it's just chip damage. Like, the Warrior doesn't want to use premium removal on those Twilight Drakes, so if they do manage to eat up some removal, then that opens the way for the Giants to come down.
And you can also Conjurer's Calling 4 mana cards pretty nicely. I mean, there are a lot of options as far as 4-cost units.
Yep, trading a Twilight Drake and then conjuring it isn't the worst, but there are also pretty good counterplay to, obviously, Big Game Hunter, which Warrior sides in, and also Super Collider.
Well, we are just going to have the Alec off the top. No follow-up here apart from the Wrench Caliber, which will be able to come down on curve.
Yep.
A lot of weapons in this deck, so wanting to get out the charges of that Wrench Caliber as soon as possible.
Yep.
Because Super Collider is so valuable and you want to get those bombs in as well. So very likely that we see this one.
Double Twilight Drake in hand. Pretty straightforward here. Just going Coin Drake into Drake and just contesting for Blood.
And does this Wrench Caliber just go face and we try and get some pressure on, or are we removing this this Twilight Drake by running everything in?
I mean, as the Warrior in this matchup, ideally you're just shipping everything face. I think Reconnect will opt to send the minions face here, and then maybe respect the Drake and just put the Wrench Caliber into it. But with the option to ping the Town Crier next turn, you might be missing the 1 damage to deal with this Twilight Drake. So it looks like he might just send everything face.
Yep, I think sending everything face makes a lot of sense here. Trying to get some pressure down, gets double bombs into the deck. And as the Mage hasn't actually started using any of its draw engines yet, the Arcane Intellect we can see is in hand. And might be able to get a few extra points of damage. And down to 16 health if a bomb is drawn right here. I mean, already the Warrior has done a heck of a lot of work.
Yep.
And is that how you're supposed to play this matchup as the Warrior? Do you have to be the aggressor?
Absolutely, 100%. If the game goes too long, the Mage starts getting their real powerful plays together, and the game ends in an instant.
Well, Super Collider not going to give too much value here just yet.
Yeah, I think we'll just see Ziliax come down here, clear off this Twilight Drake, and the Wrench Caliber going face with the option to Super Collider in the following turns.
Yep, you could also remove the highest health Twilight Drake here with Ziliax and the hit of the weapon.
Yep, also an option.
See whether he does decide to do that. Still few options here. You could also, I guess, Hero Power, Shield Slam, get rid of one of the Drakes, soften up the other one, or you could just play your Yeti.
Yeah, developing a move here, really strong play, threatens the Ziliak's next turn or a Sim Stab, so Fluorine might force an awkward turn from Fluorine using 2 mana to ping this Omega Devastator.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Fluorine has the perfect play to fit in with that, with the Arcane Intellect, so...
Arcane Intellect ping.
Yep, he's not going to be too upset about that.
Not going to be developing too much more, and a 4-3 is not exactly the hugest threat, especially when Ziliax, we can see he's in hand, but of course the Mage does know that Ziliax is certainly going to be an option. Not exactly the best play on 6 mana, but that is absolutely fine. I feel like both of the players understanding exactly what the line of play is for all of the options available, but we're not going to go there. We're going to go for the Conjurer's Calling.
Yep.
Two different bodies here.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, the 2 Conjurers sitting in hand and no other minions, maybe he felt that he wanted to try and get some value, at least one of them now.
Value.
Yeah, this Super Collider lines up just nicely.
It's it.
Super Collider, an absolute nuts card when it just lines up like that.
Actually, I saw you react. I saw you react. That was a very excited Navi next to me as that Super Collider went down. He's like, oh.
My eyes lit up.
Whew. Whew.
Give me a minute.
Well, 16 health now for the Mage as that bomb was drawn. Does mean that if Dr. Boom is drawn, not going to be giving us any value. I believe that was, no, it was 2 bombs in the deck already. No Clockwork Goblins going down just yet, if memory serves, but memory often doesn't, so... I don't know. Have you been bomb counting? To my knowledge, we got 1 left.
There is 2 left.
2 left.
The first swing with the Caliber was with the Elec on board, so...
It was indeed. Alright, so we got 2 in the deck. Representing 10 damage.
Yeah, Fluorine just with the option here to Mana Trick and then Elemental Mana Cyclone. Probably just counting how many random spells he's going to generate, just thinking about his hand size. The Astromancer, a great pickup with his hand size right now, but not too amazing with the Super Collider develop, so... But at this stage, he's just happy to see threats.
Yep. Ooh, Snap Freeze could be a decent one.
Yeah, Snap Freeze, one of the better random cards to pick up for sure. The Secrets, though, particularly in this matchup, are quite scary for the Warrior, so you can kind of respect going for the Ice Barrier and just making reconnecting twice when that Secret is up. Yep,
and also, we know that, swings to face is certainly something that a Warrior has to do in order to take down the Mage, so you're always going to get that value out of the Ice Barrier, but... Turn 7, and there's Dr. Boom Mad Genius in hand, and that's a no-brainer. He did hold onto it for a long time in the Rogue matchup that we saw yesterday, and we hated it because we know that this guy rolls the best hero powers every time. Blast Shield's already there.
Never seen someone alternate Blast Shield delivery drone as well as
quite like this guy. And if he has his opponent down to like around 10 health, then he gets the Zap Cannon in there as well. Like, oof, the dream. Well, Alex Straza comes in alongside the Astromancer, and that feels real good. I mean, the value that you're going to get with a 9 card hand size is going to certainly be there, but...
Yep, so reconnect with a really efficient clear here. You can just Super Collider Astromancer, the Dynamac will finish off the 3 health Alex Straza and 2 health Mana Cyclone, and he can just hit that Blast Shield button and feel really good about it.
Oh, damn right. And gets some value for these Shield Slams that are in hand as well. I mean, as far as Blast Shield value is concerned, that is about the highest roll, and I'm glad that we see the worst possible hero power choice afterwards, because that's going to balance out the RNG quite nicely. Speaking of which, I mean, we've got 8 mana, we've got a Mountain Giant in hand, we still have the Conjurer's Calling availabilities. Haven't seen Khadgar just yet.
Yeah.
But the Mage still certainly not out of gas just yet.
Oh yeah, the Mage with a lot of tools right now. The Mount Giant Conjurers is obviously a great play here, but with this Super Collider just sitting there, it might make Fluorine reconnect. Might make Fluorine think twice about it.
Yeah, no way to freeze face, unfortunately. As Dynamatic doesn't necessarily need to be respected too much unless he's afraid of some magnetized plays.
Yet to see Snipsnap or Ziliax, so Fluorine definitely will be thinking about that.
See what's going through his head here. That Super Collider is really threatening. As you were talking about, just so frustrating to play around.
Yeah, it definitely creates a lot of tension. Covering the Ice Barrier right now, it seems.
He's going to play it. 5 mana now. Ray of Frost is going to deny, like you were talking about.
Yeah, really, he definitely does not want to play into this Super Collider too much, especially with the Mount Giant being his only reasonable Conjurer's target.
Well, Alec now in hand.
Yeah,
and does nothing.
The read that play will give Reconnect, I guess, is just a lot of reactive spells in hand. So going to take that opportunity to develop the Alec here and putting on the pressure.
Big kaboom right there. See what he's going to roll. Zap Cannon. Damn, Reconnect has really turned it around. The RNG against him right here. Did get, you know, first round Blast Shield, but otherwise, bit of a disaster.
Yeah. And so fluourine kind of again in a similar spot to what he was last turn. Not wanting to play into Super Collider, but the board getting ever increasingly scary.
Yeah, Cone of Cold in hand. He's got double Frost Nova. He's going to stay alive. And does know that, of course, he does have that extra 8 health.
Yep, does have the option here to just develop the Antonitis, use Ray of Frost, create 2 fireballs. It'll leave him at 9 cards. So I think Antonitis might be the play that we see here.
And will at least remove some of the removal options, but that's not what he's decided to do here. Ray of Frost is going to come down on his own minion.
I'm not sure what
I think that maybe he misclicked.
Yeah, the reaction from that he gave us on the player cam, it definitely looks like it might not have been intended.
That's a yikes.
Otherwise, super creative play. I'm just trying to think, was there a hand size issue that he had? I don't think so.
I mean, it's a twin spell anyway. Doesn't matter.
He could have used... Oh, yeah, he didn't use the second copy of Ray of Frost. Right. Because he played one the previous turn.
Oh, so yeah, maybe there was a hand size issue.
I mean, I don't think there was, because he was playing the Mountain Giant anyway. Yeah, I'm really confused right now.
Well, I mean, Super Collider is going to get some value here.
Yeah, this
we can
Collider
zap to get rid of it and keep our minions on board. Ice Barrier is going to be procced, but immediately taken down to 2 armor by the looks of things.
Wouldn't be surprised to see the Zilias come down here as well, just to push the extra 3, and it looks like he's going to be covering it.
Yeah. So no armor. And a 6/6 Divine Shield Taunt minion with Lifesteal is something that you really don't want to see.
Sending him to 11, it looks like. Or 14, no. So, yeah, not quite a relevant interval for the bombs.
Well, the Ray of Frost is going to be able to get some value here if we ping off the shield. Not wanting to get... I mean, he's back to 30 health, so it's not really too much of a big deal that lifesteal goes off. However, taking 6 damage to your face at 14 health is a bad news story.
Yeah, with the armor chip down as well, fluourine might not be as scared of Shield Slam now, and we might see him develop the Antonitis. His main priority should probably be just to deal with this Dynamatic, though, this turn.
Yeah. Actually, Fireball feels pretty good as well. To remove it, pretty clean. And after the Cone of Cold, to get rid of the Divine Shield, also freezing the opposing minion, and then Ray of Frost to finish it off. So clears the board, but isn't able to actually put any pressure on the Warrior. It gets another kaboom.
The Warrior, unfortunately, with a really reactive hand right now. So, I mean, he can't quite take advantage of these really awkward turns.
Yeah, I feel like both of the players having some pretty awkward hands. I mean, double Frost Nova when there's nothing on board. Delivery Drone, finally! There we go. We've cycled through a few of them. Double kaboom is bad news for Reconnect, but finally getting some added value here. Sorcerer's Apprentice picked up as, yeah,
fluourine again with a bunch of options here. The Snip Snap,
I guess triple Snip Snap makes sense.
Yeah, and then just Ray of Frost, the Cogogom. I do like that. He might choose to split them up as a 4/6 and a 2/3, as opposed to going for the 3 together.
Yep. Could even just go wide if you wanted to.
Yep. I don't quite like going wide as much, just because 5 times Warpath will clear the entire board, but...
Yeah. There's going to be a big one. And does he put down a little one next to it? We're in deciding. He is going to go with exactly your play, proving that Navi is in fact a professional Hearthstone player.
Okay. Calm down there. I'm just a streamer.
It's not true. It's not true. I could list your accolades, but I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
It's a short list.
All right, Big Game Hunter is going to be picked up and is going to offer absolutely 0 value. At this point in time, Delivery Drone, just press the button, mate. Come on.
Yep, this turn looks like it starts with the delivery.
Yeah, don't waste our time. Don't waste our time. Just press that button.
Might be thinking about Militia Commander into the 4/6 and then clearing the Warpath, but I really like pressing Delivery Drone here. And a Mega Devastator.
Snip Snap or a Mega Devastator. What do you do? 2
real premium options here. I think we'll see the Omega here just because it represents a clear with the rush potential from Boom. Zapping the 4/6, rushing it into the 2/3, and then Warpathing to clear.
That's real silly.
Save the best for last.
This is the second time he's played an Omega Devastator and has finally used it as not a Yeti. So Reconnect turning around his playstyle from yesterday pretty hectically. As like you were saying, Warpath is a pretty nice clear. Of course, you're not going to get any value out of the Echo, but beggars can he chooses as a bomb is drawn.
Yep.
And Fluourine, I think we're staring down the barrel of a 1-1 here. All right, Alex.
Yeah, Alex Strauza not...
That keeps him alive for an extra turn because, of course, we can see Lethal represented on board.
Yep. Fluourine with a couple options to prevent that with the Frost Novas. Archmage, Anthonitis, Frost Nova right now, probably the play I'm leaning towards the most. You can play the Apprentice alongside it as well. Actually, no, he can't. Sorry, my mistake.
I mean, we've seen Snip Snap, we've seen Ziliax, and we've seen the card from Delivery Drone already come down because that's the Omega Devastator right there.
Yep.
Is there any chance we just, I mean, if you Alex your own face, you survive until the next turn, almost guaranteed,
Yeah,
right?
the Warrior can't really create any reach from hand, so yeah, that option is available for Fluourine. I do like trying to Alex when there isn't going to be minion damage coming back though. It kind of makes the Alex rather feel like a little bit wasted.
All right. Well, he's going to agree with you. Sorcerer's Apprentice comes down as Conjurer's calling. Oh, there we go. Razorfen Raptor. Get it in there. Oh, I thought that was a Snow Chugger for a second there. I was like, oh man, my favorite minion. Damn, the Snow Chugger was the best.
Haven't seen that boy in a minute.
I actually, I was playing through the solo adventure, because you know me, I'm a bit of a casual.
Of course.
I was playing through the solo adventure, and I managed to put like 500 Snow Chuggers in one of my decks, and it was just the best feeling. I was just chugging along, man. It was so much fun.
You sound like a lot of fun to play against.
Well, I mean, I was playing against a computer, so you'll have to talk to the computer to see how they were
You're
feeling.
the kind of person that emotes the AI as well.
Oh, damn right I am.
You'll let him know who's
Absolutely.
boss.
Yeah. You're saying that like it's a weird thing.
Absolutely.
No, it's not a weird thing. Not at all. I don't want any of your shenanigans.
All right.
Well,
Whatever you say.
Raptor, I think, is going to survive.
Yep.
We're very close to having a rough time, and that Zap Cannon is high value here from Reconnect, representing 3 extra damage. The following turn here against Fluourine.
Yep, the Ziliax pickup, like, with the play Fluourine made last turn, it looks like he just wanted to try and get on board, get some tempo back as much as possible, and the Ziliax pickup does represent that, because being able to Conjure is a 5-drop that's a 3-2 is amazing value.
Yeah, and also able to get that rush value beforehand as well, and get some healing. My goodness. The absolute dream.
Yep.
He's going to get that Conjurers out, and no taunts to be picked up here, but this trade ping feels super good. And back up to 10 health. We are holding on here as Fluourine. Omega Assembly is a really scary pickup here, though, if you're a Fluourine fan. And Security Rover, I mean, not exactly the greatest, but Clockwork Goblin is feeling like a big deal, because every time these bombs are drawn, it's a really rough time.
Yeah, I think we'll just see the Bulldozer come down here. It's the mana efficient play, the Knights have a body is obviously insane. And whenever the game state kind of slows down like this, it feels like Dr. Boom, just the incremental value it gives you. I have to give this one to the Warrior when the game is like this.
Yeah.
Fluourine all out of Conjurer's Callings as well, so he doesn't really have those Kagga Conjurers with the giant swing turns either available to him.
And only one spell in hand as far as getting value out of this Archmage Antonitis. It's felt stuck in his hand this entire game.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he didn't opt to go with it earlier, and just really forced Reconnect to have to remove it.
Well, gonna get rid of the 4/6. Still with something in hand here, but we haven't done any damage to face for a very long time as Fluourine. Mirror Image, it's gonna buy at least some time. You have to feel that.
Yeah, this is a really, really rough spot for Fluourine. When you're in these kind of positions where you're really, really behind, it's honestly, you're really just trying to think, okay, how do I win from here? Like this, I'm obviously, you kind of are forced into situations where you have to take risks, and I think developing the Alex Strauza, like Alexing your opponent's face and playing the images and just hitting face, putting Reconnect to 11 might be his option here.
Yeah, you need to try and turn it around, be the aggressor.
Absolutely, because if the game kind of continues waste going right now, then Reconnect's going to run away with it.
Yep. The other option here, I guess, is to play Archmage Mirror Image.
Yeah, that too.
To develop an extra body that isn't able to get big game hunted, as he knows that we're running a deck that does have the BGH in there. And we haven't seen too many cards used. Mirror Image comes down first, and then the Alex to face is going to come in. So we like your line. And I just like the fact that finally we've got a game where the health totals aren't completely askew, despite the fact that there is a 9-7 threatening pretty scarily here. And is that a warpath over to the left there, mate?
Yep, Reconnect sitting on a warpath right now.
Yeah. Do we have an extra 1 damage? We do not.
He can maybe get something off this delivery drone here. I'm just trying to think of the options available to him.
Are there any charge mechs?
There are no charge mechs, but the 4-mana 3-1
Oh yeah, just anything
is
magnetized.
his option.
Anything magnetized that's
going to allow him to
below...
warp out twice, and then magnetize onto the bulldozer and finish this game.
We need a
But
4-mana magnetized, that's what we need.
it doesn't look like he's going to do that.
Wouldn't you delivery drone first, just to see?
If you go with the delivery drone first, that leaves you with 8 mana. Your most likely play from there is going to be Big Game Hunter the Alex. I'm not sure what's going through Reconnect's head right now. I really feel like you need to... It looks like he's just going to full clear with the 4x Warpath and trading.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is definitely a turn where you would have liked to have maybe a little bit more time available to you.
I just feel like delivery drone is probably going to be used here, right? Like,
It doesn't look
oh,
like
he's going to use the BGH and then take him down. Wow, we're not going face with 9 damage, putting him to 1.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Reconnect feels like the only way... I mean, and he is correct here. The only way he kind of loses is if he doesn't clear board.
Right, well...
And if you delivery drone first, it kind of leaves you in an awkward spot with the mana available to you.
Well, we are going to probably see an Archmage Frost Nova, I could imagine. What do you reckon? Archmage Frost Nova?
I agree, 100%.
And there's no way of getting any armor back, so these shield slams are dead cards.
Yep.
Fluourine has a legitimate chance to allow this Archmage Antonidas to survive.
Yeah, the Dynamatic sitting in hand, I do think represents guaranteed clear on the Antonidas with the rush. The health from the Big Game Hunter will... wait, sorry, is it? Oh yeah, with the hero power, it is a full clear. But, I mean, Fluourine doesn't know that, so playing to win at this point, Archmage Antonidas Frost Nova does seem like the play. Pinging away the Big Game Hunter is also an option. I mean, sorry, not the Big Game Hunter, the bulldozer.
Yeah. Not going to go for that one, though, once that Fireball comes into hand. And like you were saying, there is, of course, a clear option here in the Dynamatic.
Yep, he can clear with Sim Snap as well in any kind of permutation he likes. Clearing the Sim Snap actually pretty decent here, since you also get to magnetize your last copy of Sim Snap onto the Boomdozer and keep it alive. So
take it out of ping range.
Yep, I think that Sim Snap is clearing here is pretty good.
I agree with you, Dr. Boom. That being said, the master plan is relatively easy to come up with. As we can see, like you were talking about, Snip Snap coming into hand does present a few extra options as far as the good stuff. Do you ever do that thing where you just chuck out a Snip Snap, run it in, run the other guys in, and then chuck out another one, and then just keep going one after the time, one in at a time?
Exactly. Like each copy of Sim Snap represents 4 power, so clearly Antonidas with that perfectly, and the last copy goes on to the Boomdozer.
Moment. I mean, you could just run one on top of this Clockwork Goblin that comes in as the rope is started. He likes the Dynamatic though. Yeah, that is going to kill his Big Game Hunter, which is a bit of a problem. That's alright. A bit awkward.
Yeah, I can't see a world where this play was any better than the Sim Snap play. Maybe he valued the extra bomb in deck and went for that instead.
Yep. How many bombs are there now? I think there's still at least a couple.
So I think he has a potential leaf flat here if he goes Fireball Mana Cyclone, manages to pick up a second copy of Fireball from his Mana Cyclone, and then that's 12 damage and Reconnect's at 11. So I mean,
even I could do that, man.
Even at this point, I think that's all you really got if you're Fluourine.
Well, he has no way of clearing the board here. Well, he does. I mean, he can ping and Fireball, but then you have absolutely no way of dealing lethal damage and you're against a warrior.
Yeah, and it really feels like you're on a clock here with the bombs in your deck, so...
Yeah.
Yep, Fluourine agrees, and I like this play a lot.
He's gonna go for it. Does he have 5 damage from a Mana Cyclone random spell? No, he does not. He has a Ray of Frost,
Frost, yeah, really solid pickup. It will make him feel like he's still alive at least. Yeah. Not too bad as far as random mage spell is concerned.
Damn right. Not going to be able to play the Khadgar, of course. And not going to look for the damages. Blastmaster Boom Gonna come into the hand.
Yep, I mean, there's probably some kind of lethal out here with burning the bombs into the mana cycle when they go face and then zap to finish. Yep. So we'll see that here.
Doesn't get all the bombs. That's A-okay.
Oh, nice.
One goes face.
Nice outcome for Reconnect here.
Oh my god.
And
The
would
dream.
you look at that?
That is high rolling like you would not believe.
I mean,
And the
Reconnect
zap comes in. That being said, I mean, there were a couple of extra bombs.
Reconnect is so far ahead of this game state, it really did not matter, I think.
Well, that is going to be the series evened out. A much longer game there and with a lot more interesting turns. I did like how Reconnect played that one, and I think that Reconnect's play has really leveled up from yesterday. With the amount of time that he's taking on his turns, he had a few iffy ones, but definitely not the kind of moments that we saw yesterday where he made the opposite of a good play. This was, he made a similar play that was just not quite as optimal, right?
Yeah, it's such a small thing that you can change. Just taking a little bit extra time on your turns, and it makes a lot of difference, and I'm really happy to see him make that change.
Yeah.
You don't lose anything for it, so yeah, it's fine.
Well, fluourine, see, still same expression. Slightly concerned,
Very stoic.
but still focused. Yeah, I like that. Stoic is a much better word.
Yeah,
much better word.
It feels like when this matchup does go the distance, if the warrior does have to boom it, and it feels a lot easier for the warrior just to grind the mage out. So the mage normally looking to close out the game earlier than that.
We'll see whether the closeout can actually happen this time around. A lot of those conjurers starting off in the hand very, very early, and there were a few questionable conjurers plays. I mean, throwing out one on a sorcerer's apprentice felt like the pressure wasn't necessarily there yet.
Yeah, it left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, for that play to be needed. That being said, we can tidy it up for game number 3. Even series now between Reconnect from China and fluourine from Hong Kong. We are going to be getting into it right now. Mountain Giant in hand feels great. Twilight Drake in hand feels even better. And that's the wrong boom. It's the wrong boom, Reconnect.
Reconnect opting to mulligan away the Blast Master, one of the highest fluourine cards in the mulligan in this matchup, but without cards to generate bombs, I can understand throwing it away. Keeping the Super Glider, again, it doesn't feel great to keep reactive cards since you're trying to be proactive in this matchup, but it is so powerful as we saw last game.
Well, Town Crier comes down on turn 1. Pretty good. Ping is going to be the response as we've got a whole lot of big boys in the hand of fluourine right now, but we'll have that Arcane Intellect to really boost this hand size. Yep. And double Twilight Drake feels fantastic here in the earlier stages of this game. And now we've got Coin Clockwork Goblin into Clockwork Goblin.
Yeah, Reconnect hand looking great right now.
This guy's the king of the mulligan.
Yeah, he loves the 3-drop.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the snip snap. That was, of course, picked up off the top, mate. Never mind.
Yeah, that's probably the best part of it.
The dream. Well, we could be seeing the 5/6 Clockwork Goblin as the snip snap can magnetize onto that gentleman.
I think I would maybe, like, this is a little bit greedier, but I think I would like to see just Goblin get on 4, Zidax on 5, and then the snip snap on 6.
Oh yeah, it works out pretty well.
It does.
Works out pretty well. Well, certainly a lot of options. Reconnect in heaven right now when it comes to what he's picked up. But we are seeing the Conjurer's Calling already picked up here for fluourine. He does have the Arcane Intellect that he's deciding not to play for the moment, considering Mirror Image Ping to get rid of that Town Crier.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a little bit surprised if the images came down here. I can understand wanting to ping, but it feels like to me, at least, if you don't play this Arcane Intellect now, it might be a little bit hard to fit in later, so...
A 1/1 non-mech really doesn't really do too much.
I don't think I respect the Town Crier enough to ping it over playing Arcane Intellect this turn. And you just want to obviously juice up the health of your Twilight Drakes as well.
Yep. And Twilight Drake is definitely coming down on turn 4, so oh my goodness, he's not going to go for
Every point of damage can absolutely be relevant though in this matchup, and maybe just trying to really value his life total here is fine.
Well, playing defensively, Dynamatic is going to come in. Probably wishes he was on 5 mana, not going to be. Clockwork Goblin comes in, second bomb in the deck. Not going to be taking face damage like you were talking about, so...
Buys a little bit of time for these Twilight Drakes to come down and start dealing with the board.
Yeah, and a 4/6 for 4, it's better than Yeti.
No, but that's insane.
Yeah, it's just silly. Such bad. Town Crier comes in, Snip Snap is going to come down as well. Is it just going to be off to the side? No, it's not. We are going to put that 5/6 on the board, and we're going to go straight into your noggin. See you later, mate. 24 damage.
Where it is.
24 health, sorry. Okay, now what is the response? Snip Snap is what we just saw off the top. Another Twilight Drake is, of course, going to be an option. We're on 5 mana. Snip Snap feels pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah, a lot of fluourine to think about here. Next turn is the turn where it can develop Super Clouder. That would obviously be at the forefront of his mind after how much work he did last game. So playing around Super Clouder may be the only thing he wants to think about. And this is where I think the mirror images could have been a lot of value, since he could have developed the Tide Rake and had the mirror images on board alongside it, just to make Super Clouder a little bit less awkward.
Well, this makes Super Clouder pretty high value, as you just can trade in your Town Crier and get rid of it.
Yeah, there's quite a few options for Reconnect here. You can also just maybe Ziliax and hit him for 8. Not too bad, but it's hard to pass off this Collider.
Ziliax on top of your already buffed up Clockwork Goblin feels real nice. But he's not going to do that, because this play is going to be pretty comfortable, you can imagine. It does make sure he maximizes Dynamatic value on the next turn as well, if anything does come down. This is where you wish that Polymorph was teched into this deck. It's not necessarily something that you'd want against a warrior in general.
No, but it would be great off, say, a Magic Trick. Oh, can Magic Trick give you? No, sorry, off Mana Cyclone.
Yeah, Mana Cyclone is the only real option. Alright.
So flipping with the option here, maybe it's terrible. You could conjure the 5/6, but it doesn't. I feel like there'd probably be more stats on the board after doing that, so that doesn't seem to play. So AI to maybe path this Astromancer, and you're probably forced just to play the Simsap here to try and contest.
And I mean, if Ziliax comes down on top of the Clockwork Goblin, then the Conjurer's Calling feels a little bit better.
Yeah, it does feel a lot better.
That being said, it's already just done, like, you're down to 11 health at that point.
Yeah, it's already done its work.
Yeah. And you're not going to be changing the game state enough, and that, like you say, it's just going to be a naked Snip Snap, and Fluourine about to get reverse swept by Reconnect here is what it's feeling like. The warrior with a whole lot of tempo. Super Collider so far in this matchup has just gotten infinite value.
It's been MVP for sure.
Yeah, nutty. Of course, we knew that this card was in the secondary deck and was certainly a fantastic way of dealing with Mage, but Mage would normally have, you know, their card engine, their Conjurer's Calling engines working at this point, and Fluourine in the last 2 games just has not had those
Not been able to put it
availabilities.
together.
Unfortunate. What are we seeing here from our warrior player? I mean, we could just Ziliax threaten more damage.
I think I would like to see Ziliax hit him for 8. It's pretty in line with what you're trying to do.
Yeah. We're going to see the Militia Commander, though, as
This is really interesting to me.
yeah. Unfortunately, Super Collider does not work if he dies, so he's going to use a charge of it.
I'm not sure what.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, your opponent could play Xi'an anyway here, so I'm not. Yeah, I'm struggling to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any world where that was the best play available to him right there.
My calculations are
Astromancer comes in now, though, as we'll get a 6/6 from it. Feels pretty good.
Yeah, that's not the worst.
Fortunately, we don't get the 1 damage battle cry, but beggars Kanabe chooses. We'll see where this little Wall-E is going to go.
I mean, you're obviously really apprehensive to trade it at all. I think just because it lets Super Collider get a guaranteed clear. Like I would like to maybe just go face there and then force Reconnect to put the Militia Commander into.
Yeah, exactly.
Into the 1/1.
Deny the extra damage, but that's what he is going to do. That's the last charge out, so now at least doesn't need to deal with this Super Collider.
Yeah, it's finally gone, but it's already, I think, on its way.
Yep, we've got 29, so 31 effective health versus 4. And Fluourine does have Alex in hand, but he's only got 8 mana.
Yeah, if he can somehow make this Alex, then he might be feeling like he's in this game, but it doesn't feel that way right now. I mean, he's probably going to be forced to conjure this Clockwork Goblin here, just because that's his only real effective way of dealing with it.
Yeah, Conjure is Frost Nova.
Yeah, Frost Nova follow-up.
That feels terrible.
It feels absolutely awful.
And also, you're creating more bodies, so then your 1 Alex Straza that you're going to have on the board the next turn is going to feel even worse, and you can't offer anything else alongside it. Like you say, it is what has to happen.
Okay.
There's some card draw. Not bad. For Reconnect.
Yeah.
Only 5 cards in hand. Probably feels good about having the old Mana Tide Totem. But look, does represent 0 damage, so that ain't bad. Frost Nova does come in, like we were talking about. Ray of Frost to get rid of the 3/2.
Yep.
You can
Just trying to take as much damage off the board here to make this Alex as effective as possible for the following turn, so I like this.
Okay, French Caliber comes in, and that is threatening lethal with some bombs.
1 damage off right now.
Yeah, and with 2 bombs able to be put into the deck.
Pretty straightforward to move to reconnect.
Yeah. And right now, if you're trying to assess who's winning the game, it is becoming pretty easy to do so.
Yep, 4 bombs in fluorine's deck now. Doesn't draw on it, looks like.
Nope. Elemental Evocation does come into the hand as Alex Straza gets maximum value. It is still not exactly what you want. Oh, big Game Hunter off the top.
I mean, he already had an answer, but yeah, it's quite timely.
Yeah. It's going to get the shield block in first.
Yep.
Another augmented Elec.
Yeah, pretty nice here. It lets him shield slam and develop the Elec, so this is quite nice.
Yep, and now you're going to be putting a hell of a lot of bombs into the deck.
Yep, this will take fluourine to 7 bombs in deck. And
we'll see who trades into this, Alex. There's an argument. Oh, wait, no, he's going to be going.
Yeah,
he's able to actually get the... Oh, my goodness, able to get the hero power in there as well. No worries.
Being at 6 health is, it's a little bit of an interval break point for these bombs, so...
How is he not drawing these bombs? There's so many of them in the deck right now.
The Harrison Jones just coming into hand a little bit too late right now. He would have loved to see that earlier when the Super Fighter was active.
Such a shame. His hand just looks like it does absolutely nothing right now. It is going to have to be the Conjurer's way, hoping for some taunts. All right.
Darius Corrali, not awful.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Unfortunately, not able to... with the ping, he survives at 1, but with the Super Glider in hand, that looks like Reconnect's going to be able to close this one out.
Yep. Had that option, of course, the Darius Crowley makes you feel real bad because you have to run it in and then it becomes like a 6-4 or something like that, 6-3. Had the option of getting a 6-6, which is the absolute dream.
Yeah.
But instead, he's just going to be dead, guys. That is going to be Reconnect taking the series, turning around his game from yesterday. His games from yesterday following his As Before series that he was able to clutch out. It feels like as soon as he's on our stream, he's able to get things done. But this time, we don't have those question marks like we had from yesterday. Yesterday was some real good RNG going in his favor and some misplays on his part.
Questionable play for sure.
And this time, I think that honestly, fluourine had a great game 1 and then messed up pretty hugely in a few key moments in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, I was really, it's a little bit of questionable, maybe some micro plays, but he had a really good understanding of how to play that game from a macro perspective, like just putting on pressure, trying to make major turns awkward, keeping their big threats off the board so they can't have those huge swing turns and huge power turns.
Well, I mean, that is going to be Reconnect taking that series and pulling himself ahead. I don't actually have the standings available to me right now. I'm going to check them for the moment. As we can see, it is going to be Reconnect moving up to 3-2. Which will be able to get himself towards that, I believe, equal second position as the standings stood at the start of the day. Of course, we are going to have those standings updated for you as we move into tomorrow. And, of course, as we finish off our next matchup, of course, we're going to have a short break, but when we get back, it will be fluourine once again. So he's going to have to tidy up this play as he moves into his next matchup. I'm going to check it out. It is going to be Techno Goose.
Yep.
That is next on the line here. So... opponent is going to be tough. Of course, Techno Goose has been known for a while.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. Pretty active early, 2015, 2016. The Europe scene, the LAN scene at least, is a little bit more active than compared to APAC or NA at least. So a couple placings here and there. I think he finished top 16 at DreamHack Valencia in 2016. And he's always been playing in prelims as well. And, qualifying for prelims, honestly, no mean feat, especially last year.
Yeah, been playing for a long time. So that's going to be a tough one, and it's going to be a mage mirror as well. And when we're seeing these misplays, when we're seeing this this deck not necessarily be piloted to the maximum, then it can be a little bit of a problem. But guys, we are going to be going to that short break, and when we get back, that mage versus mage mirror that is going to be testing fluourine will be upon us. So make sure you stick around. See you later.